From Connecticut to Australia, we jump all the way across the Pacific into the Southern Hemisphere to Australia's action track, where round number 2 of the Beer League is set to kick off here this afternoon. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Green Flag TV. My name is Rempel. Alongside Chris Handy, we bring you all the action from the Winton Motor Raceway, one of Australia's premier racing venues and a mainstay of the Australian V8 Supercars Championship. Chris, what a ride this one is anticipated to be here this afternoon. It's called Australia's Action Track for a reason. 3 kilometers on the dot on a layout that has been mostly unchanged since this track opened up back in the 60s, save for the extension that we're racing on this afternoon back in 97.
Yeah, good evening, Nolan. Good evening, race fans. This Wednesday night is Beer League's round 2 for season 14. Yeah, it's a new track for me, Nolan. I've actually never raced here. I was studying here during before the broadcast, watching some onboards, trying to figure out which way this track turns. And yeah, I love these old school tracks that just really haven't changed much over the years. They have a lot of character, a lot of flavor to them. Should be a great race tonight with a lot of drivers really having to push their cars to the limits.
Let's take a look at the championship standings entering this one as a hotly contested championship remains on the horizon for us here this afternoon. Right now, Ethan Hamlet coming off of a win in his Beer League debut. He is on top so far for Team Galaxy Brandon number 1. Henry Lieberman, though, hot on his heels, just 6 points behind.
Yeah, Scott Fleming in 3rd, Austin Tucker down in 4th, John Combs in 5th, Alex Cofford up there in 6th, Giovanni Romano in 7th, Henry Morris in 8th, and Eric Ronenberg 9th. Jason Lee rounding out the top 10. Of course, only one race into the championship here. Got a long way to go. These, will change over time, but you kind of look there at the beer total as well. So you're actually drinking the beers on the track. Look at Snack Attack here on the teams. No beers consumed in the Beer League.
Not so far, but that shows just how good some of the drivers are. They're right now tied with Team Galaxy Brain for 3rd place in the Teams Championship, so Snack Attack could be a force to be reckoned with here in this championship if they can keep that performance up throughout the course of the afternoon. Well, right now, qualifying is, as it stands, underway here at the Winton Motor Raceway, and this race anticipated to be one that'll be hotly contested. Lime Rock Park was certainly one way to kick off the season, wasn't it? And now, with us coming in hot here into race number 2 this afternoon, you have to wonder here, Chris, the clean nature that we saw at Lime Rock Park, will that continue into a track that's known to be Australia's action track, or is it going to be a bit more hectic here this afternoon?
Yeah, I feel like we got a really good showing in Lime Rock, like you said, Nolan, and there weren't a lot of incidents. There were a few big ones, and I was going back and looking through the penalties, because you remember we talked about last week as well. Beer League's got a new penalty point system, and they actually gave out, 3, 4, 7, 10. I think they gave out 12 penalty points across the 40-something car field we saw last week. So the stewards were definitely keeping an eye on the action. I don't think we caught every single incident on the broadcast itself, but one driver's even got a qualifying ban going in this race. That's Alex King, because he got 3 penalty points in Lime Rock last week. So whether that's the reason everyone's keeping it clean or some other thing, I mean, we'll find out if it's actually, wow, look at that hop there from Hamlet.
Ethan Hamlet really showing that curve what for there, wasn't he, as he hopped up and over the rise?
Yeah, no kidding. I couldn't tell if that was actually a quick lap he set there or not, but look at this coming out of the final chicane here onto the front straightaway. Get the first curb right, second one hits out, it's got so much speed and runs right off the end. That's going to be a hot point there. That's obviously where they're going to be pushing the cars out there. It looks like if you go a little too far, you get airborne. But finishing the point on the cleanness of the races, yeah, I mean, we'll see if 2's a pattern tonight or if it's going to be just a one-off and everyone's taking it easy for the first race.
Take it right on board, and he did a good job on holding on to that car after the fact as he came out into turn number 2. He was able to hold it relatively straight there. So credit to Hamlin, currently on provisional pole and looking like he could be a contender here in this one. And I want to try to get one more look at that one if we can, because you cannot emphasize, right? That car had all 4 wheels off the ground at one point during all of this. And I will try to get a hit on you here on this one. And
we need a good Green Flag TV gopher cam right there coming out of that corner.
There you go. Oh, boy. I'm willing to bet that's not the first car we're going to be seeing doing that here this afternoon.
I guaranteed 100%. So that's going to be a hot corner, especially in qualifying, as these drivers really push as hard as they can. That first set of curbs looks like it's fine. You get on that second one out there, it's like you're hitting a pothole on the highway. It just jumps up.
James Gouge right now making his way around through the opening couple of corners and pulling on to the start-finish line for what is the club course, of course, separated by that 1-2 chicane. Normally, that was the old starting line for this racetrack all the way up until 1997 before, of course, they added in turns 11 and 12, making this a 12-turn circuit, extended the track length to 3 kilometers and giving drivers a bit more to run with. Francesco Bertucci, a newcomer to the beer league, making his debut this afternoon right now, qualified provisionally 29th.
Yeah, he'll figure it out. The Flying Donut Machine, you got to get some, get that thing cranked up, get it warmed up, get out there on track and learn what it's all about. So welcome to the beer league, Francesco. And got 2.5 minutes left. Yeah, it looks some familiar names on top of the timing tower already. I mean, Hamlet's up there after winning last week in Lime Rock. Ronberg's up there. Barry Piper's back up there. As we got some shenanigans here in the pit lane.
Yeah, this has been going on since the first of the 20-minute session. And to be honest here, I haven't really addressed it because I'm not sure what to make of it, but this is why we don't see a lot of cars on the racetrack. They're just having a party down here.
I have so many questions. I don't know what's going on.
You got one car actually between the buildings there. See, there's a couple of them stacked in there. How they managed to accomplish that, I don't know, but it's more impressive than anything.
How about that? We haven't talked about it yet, but look at the weather too, Nolan. There's I think a pretty decent chance as somebody here is starting to make that corner.
Ronenberg.
Eric Ronenberg, yeah. A decent chance of rain on this race. I mean, your ticker there saying 100% chance, but and it looks like it's on the horizon, and these Miatas are, especially on a track like this, is very flat. It's going to make some tricky conditions to keep an eye on.
Now, of course, that 100% that is for the humidity in the air, which means it is incredibly humid out there. No surprise, it is Australia, but you bring it up correctly, right? Throughout the entire race, it's 40 to 50% chance of rain throughout the entirety of the event. By the way, Austin Tucker has, it's either Tucker or Augustino that just jumped into our chat and has clarified, they're trying to push Romano through the gap. So they actually have a goal behind this madness down here in the pits.
What happens once he goes through the gap?
But I don't know. He gets in the parking lot, I guess.
Oh. I don't know.
I mean, he's not there anymore. They may have. Oh no, he is still there. I thought they may have gotten him, but no, he's still there. But so that's why they're trying to do what they're trying to do here. I feel like they're kind of pushing each other around though more than they're pushing him around. But that means there's nobody on track right now that's been putting down the lap. There's not a single car on the racetrack right now. They're all here doing this.
Man, it reminds me back of we're trying to get on the fountain in Long Beach and all the crazy things we used to do in this league. But yeah, I mean, someone just got it. We almost hit the flag man there. Don't hit Barney.
I think they did.
Goodness.
Ay.
Yeah, so I don't know how, it looks like there's like an invisible wall there. I don't know how he got in there to start with. I'm so confused.
It's an impressive feat, and one that I'm sure will be repeated before the end of the day. For now, let's take a rundown of what your starting grid is going to look like here for the sprint race coming on up here this afternoon. It's going to be the likes of Ethan Hamlet starting his race from pole position this afternoon. He's alongside Eric Ronenberg. Number 2 on the grid for the Rose, it's Barry Piper alongside Jake Kasich. From there, Chris Flams brings it up alongside Chris Bright, with row 4 holding Scott Fleming and Darren By. Top 10 closed out by Alexander Bueller and Carl Behrens, with the top 12 headed up by Ron Wolf and Aaron Thacker. From there, it's Austin Tucker, Ben Williams, Kyle Blevins, Brooks Clayton, Greg Beckman, Justin Hall, Evan Campbell, Ethan Condi, James Gouge, Matthew Dupuy, Carson Catlin, Adam Joseph Milhot, Ryan Verhulst, Blake Gamble, Sean Nellen, Frank Bertucci, Jordan Babcock, Ryan Murphy, Stephen Burciel, Henry Morris, Giovanni Romano, Alex Covert, Alex King, Tyler Augustino, and Ringo Harrison bring up a 38-car grid. Chris, green flag just seconds away here for the sprint race here. 15 minutes about to kick off for us. And as we saw in Lime Rock Park, it could be a good indicator of what we could expect to see from the Australian action track this afternoon.
Yeah, what's interesting about this track, I mean, besides for 1 and 2, which are a chicane, it's relatively simple corners all the way down to turn 7. So if they make it through 1 and 2, I think we'll be clean, hopefully all the way down until they get to 7, 8, 9 complex.
going to be quite of a run this time around here as Hamlet and Ronneberg line up double file. This is one of the other interesting things about this, right? It's not usually the staggered rows that we're used to see on our road courses. They are lining up directly side by side all the way back to the field. Saves a little bit on grid space here on that front straightaway, but of course that's going to mean this is going to be rather interesting here to see how these opening minutes are going to pan out here as well. Is there going to be a bit more side by side than there normally would be in a turn number 1? With all that, the rest build, and the lights are down. We are go here in the sprint race, and officially our first ever race at Winton on Green Flag TV is underway. A stellar getaway from Ethan Hamley. He takes off into turn number 1. The rest of the field ducking through the opening chicane just a little ways behind. No one dares for 3 wide. It is 2 by all the way back to the field.
Nice clean start there. Ronneberg getting swallowed up here by second, third place. A little bit of contact, and all 3 of them go off the road into the shadow realm there of the grass. That's going to kill the leaders there at second, third, fourth positions, as somebody's going to rejoin nice and clean. So that's been the only incident we've seen so far as they thunder down the hill around turn 5 and up toward the hairpins of 7, 8, 9.
I believe that may have been Barry Piper that went off the road with him, and potentially Alex King was the third driver there. No, it was not Alex King, sorry, that got shot down. He had a qualifying ban. It was one of the other cars in the mix there, though, that definitely got punted off with them. Hazards of going 3 wide here, and they're going to try for it again with 1 car off the road, deeper in the pack. James Gouge has gone around.
Another car around behind them, so hairpin here, you definitely causes some problems. They're still spinning. I think that's turn 8 as they swing back around back into turn 9. The 3 tightest corners on the racetrack, I think. Kind of a messier start than last week, Nolan.
Well, this track not as flowing as Lime Rock Park is, and it's a track that, of course, a lot of these drivers are a bit more unfamiliar with. I mean, you mentioned you never even seen a race here around Winton. For us on Green Flag TV, this is its debut on Green Flag TV in the 3+ years that we've been doing iRacing broadcasting. We have never seen this track in any one of our shows until today, so this is a bit of a new quantity for the whole field, and I believe it's the first time the beer league has ever come out here as well.
Yeah, looking at the track map, it's the complete opposite of Lime Rock. In Lime Rock, we said you really only got like 2 shots on the brakes to get an overtake done. I mean, here, every corner looks like it's a braking zone leading into it. Long straightaway, tight corners, very different style of racetrack. That leads to a lot more gaps in the drivers, right, with the braking zones and things like that. So we should see this field string out quite a bit. That also leads to more incidents as people are going to dive bomb to the inside of the corners.
Carson Catlin trying to catch play. Gabriel, a couple cars off the road just in front. That's through turn number 5. And going back through 6, they're going to rejoin just time for 7. Almost 4 wide into turn 7 with cars trying to get back onto the racetrack. And they are going to just barely keep that thing in line. But boy, getting a little bit dicier in the early goings here as they swing through 8 and then back around the 180-degree hairpin at 9 before they make that blast down what used to be the final corner of this track at turn 10. What has now turned into a acute left-hand turn into one of the penultimate straights.
Yeah, they're still trying to sort it out, I think. Look up front, though. I mean, Ethan Hamlet running away with this thing 2.5 seconds down the road after just a couple laps. Really just starting to check out. But, yeah, I like the redesign of the track. This last straightaway here, flowing into that chicane, just adds an element to the track that's really not anywhere else on the track. You have this nice little left-right complex instead of these hairpins and almost right-angle type corners around the rest of the racetrack. So I think it's a good mix. We're going to keep an eye on that little exit curve, though. As you see a car right there as I say it, get that second set of curves and start hopping across the racetrack. Very sketchy.
And the 816 of Aaron Thacker getting a little bit unsettled there as well. For the time being, though, we keep things clean and green. Down the field, Augustino and Catlin fighting down. Now, these guys are not fighting for points positions, right? They're just fighting to see where they're going to be starting in the main event here in about 15 minutes' time. Right now, it's only the top 12 that are fighting for positions, but these guys have not been eager to go side by side. They've been single file pretty much from the drop of the green flag up front.
Yeah, and I think that's where the speed is. But you mean the gaps are starting to form. You're seeing Chris Bright now is about 1.3 seconds behind second place Kasich. And then, the gaps are much bigger than what we saw last week at Lime Rock. But we know the slipstream pretty strong in these cars too. With these straightaways, it may be hard to pull a gap if you're running about the same speed through the corners, but cars around again.
That is Evan Campbell and I believe Tyler Augustino, both off at the back end of the field. This is what happened to them here on lap number 3 of the sprint. And is
coming
this
through?
A bit of a how do you do here on exit? Sure was. And you see Augustino pulling off to the side just to redress.
Yeah. So that's one of the rules. If you knock somebody off the road in front of your car, you're supposed to give the position back or wait for him. So that's what Augustino did there. Gentleman move. Should save a penalty point. The car goes hopping across the curb in the background again. Just want to watch that spot of the track all race. This is the best spot to watch.
And Greg Beckman and Justin Hall getting a little bit caught up with one another here. Right behind them is Chris Flams and Kyle Smith. They're fighting for 15th on the racetrack here. And you got Ben Williams tucked up right behind this group as well. We continue the battle away through what should be only a 10-lap race in the sprint here this afternoon before we get set for the main event.
Somebody's around right in front of these guys in his 64 car, able to gather back up against Justin Hall, able to lock it down and keep from going all the way around. But we're seeing that a few times. I mean, these spins that we're seeing, if they're not from the bumper of another car, they're really a lot of lazy spins in the middle of the corner. So I wonder if these setups are really driven to kind of rotate the car on this flat track, and we're seeing some guy just overdrive them and just spin around. But we didn't see that really hardly at all last week at Lime Rock.
9 minutes left to go. And some of the battles in the top 12 are kind of ebb and flow, and we saw with Justin Hall's spin a few positions being swapped around, but outside of that, it remains effectively in lockstep. Justin Hall now all the way back to 14th and trying to hold on while Chris Flams wants to have a go at him down the inside of turn 1. Oh, trouble up front as Kyle Behrens has just been spun around coming out of turn 2.
He's going the wrong way. You got to flip that thing back around. Good job to do it on the grass. He keeps the car, lets it rotate around. He's going to rejoin cleanly there. That was coming out of the last chicane. I didn't see the incident that led to that, but let's take a look. Oh, he got the curb.
No kidding, caught it big time. I thought Scott Flynn may have hit him, but no. Kyle Behrens just slammed that curb and punted him around.
And they need to put a cone there.
Oh, boy.
There he goes again.
Wow.
Oh, that's a replay. I'm sorry.
Wild airborne moment. So you saw he got 2 wheels on the wrong side of the inverted curbs there, and as a result of that, he was already going around, and then, of course, that other exit curb just exacerbated the problem for a car that was already out of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be a problem spot on the racetrack. We've seen it catch out a number of drivers. As the 57 cars, where's he going?
I think he's waiting.
Purcell.
That or he's just finding a good spot to post up and watch the rest of the sprint race from. Oh, and now Justin Hall is at a collision as he's going to punt Chris Flams off the road.
What happened there? It's been a bad lap for Mr. Hall. Let's see. Oh,
Flams squeezed him.
Do that. We've seen this. We saw that last week with
that was Hall that squeezed him.
Oh my goodness.
So
that's going to be reviewed.
Hall squeezed Flams out. Flams didn't lift, and nothing says that he has to. And then you could call it karma on Justin Hall, but then Hall got him right back when Flams spun across the racetrack, and they're still within 4/10 of each other here, Chris.
Yeah, they're still nose to tail. They're not. I don't think this is over, but we saw exactly. Remember last week, Cofford and Morse on the front straightaway at Lime Rock. This time it was Morse trying to sneak in there 2 wheels off the grass, and Cofford just wouldn't give him any room, and they ended up with Cofford speared into the tire wall. So I don't know, man. I didn't get a good angle on that one, but it definitely looked like again you forcing a move on something that wasn't quite there, but. We'll see. They'll talk about it after, I'm sure.
Well, it always goes back to, at what point does a car have adequate overlap to be considered alongside? Because you look at a sport like Formula One, you got to have effectively front wheel to front wheel before you're actually entitled to the space, according to past rulings that they've made. You get to other sports, though, like, stock car racing and the like, and it doesn't matter. If there's an inch in there, there's an inch in there.
Yeah, so beer league's actually got that in the rules. I mean, it's axle to axle. If the front axle is alongside the rear axle of the car, then they're entitled to room. So now you start getting in the gray area of, well, if they've got two wheels off the track, or if they forced it in there, or I think there's exceptions, but yeah, that's very black and white for beer league, just to avoid any kind of gray area with that. And I'm not sure that was quite established there between Hall and Flams.
5 minutes to go. And it'll likely be 3 laps left in the sprint race here, this time by the line, lapping at around just over a minute and a half, on 91 seconds per lap. Fights on for the final spot here for points, and this fight for 12 here, whoever wins it is started on pole in the main event.
Well, it looks like it's a fight between Beckman, Romano, and Crawford right now. If I'm reading the timing tower right, as Romano just got by, but I think he's going to spear it off into one of these trees somewhere. So him and Crawford. So I guess, and I mean, it'd be great to see Greg Beckman get up there and start on the pole for the feature if he can finish in P12. But that requires, a little bit of argy-bargy there going into, was that turn 10?
Yeah, that's Austin Tucker that got pushed out wide. Romano, I'm not expecting to see fling his way off the racetrack. Crawford, absolutely. Romano has a tendency to at least finish these sprint races, though, to go for points and start for the bits, because he doesn't really partake in the drinking portion of this league, so he likes to get points wherever he can, I'd imagine.
I see. Yeah, okay, we'll keep an eye on it and see. And yeah, Beckman having a great run up there, by the way, right there on the transfer position if he can get back up there. But yeah, a lot of familiar names up in the top 10. Good run for Brooks Clayton right now up there in P8. And Darren Bai also in P4 having a strong run here in the sprint race.
And Darren Bai having a good run along with others. Bueller having a good run as well. Kyle Smith trying to attack Carson Catlin here for 24th, and he's going to get him pretty easily there, as you see Catlin actually lift out of the throttle just to help facilitate that pass.
Well, I saw somebody there running out wide on that second curve. It got me feeling anxious for a second, but they avoided it.
And Henry Morris right now trying to go after Greg Beckman for the 14th place spot. Right up the road, Scott Fleming trying to see if he can mount the charge on Brooks Clayton.
Starting to see some windshield wipers wiping here. I'm not sure if it's actually rain or if it's okay, no, I think that was somebody just cleaning the windshield off because they keep getting dirt flung on it like these guys. Rude drivers. Look at these guys. Oh, you see, there's that mid-corner oversteer I was talking about.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to kill the run down all the way here down to the turn 11. I don't think there's quite side-by-side yet, but that's what it'll do. You kill that run coming out of the corner, you lose all that speed down the straightaway.
2 laps to go at the line as they make their way down the pit straight. And we'll see if any of these fights are going to pick up before the end of this one. Right now, Ethan Hamlet, a 5-second advantage up the road, and making a good argument for why he should be in the pro driver category.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think it's clear. He's got pace. He's clean. He's consistent. So if he sticks around, I guarantee he'll be pro league here for too long.
Heck, could find himself up there before the end of the season if he keeps up the rate he's been going here. But right now, Darren Bai and Alexander Bueller scrapping for 4th place on the racetrack. Pretty big points up for grabs here, and points that can be the difference maker.
Yeah, a couple of teammates too. I don't expect them to go diving on each other, but you never know. Definitely a lot of points for play here. And looking back at the transfer position, looks like Romano is going to hold that unless he can catch up to Tucker. Tucker's having a exciting few laps here. He's losing a little bit of pace, but Romano kind of had a wide exit there on turn number 9 as well. Everybody's kind of settling in. I think we found it took about, 10 minutes to kind of get into everybody. This is where everybody's going to be, settle the field down. It's good information for the sprint race, or for the feature race, sorry.
Final lap this time by. As the fights for positions are mostly on where they were just figuring out where they're going to be starting for the main event. No points or transfer spots on the line or anything of that nature. Alex Crawford, predictably, has just picked up a black flag, so he'll likely see himself exiting this race before too much longer. Oh, a bit of a bump there for Kyle Smith to the back of Ryan Verhulst. That's going to let Carl Behrens through along with Carson Catlin.
Yeah, a little gaggle of cars here, really trying to sort things out. And again, yes, it's they lose the momentum coming out of the corner, and you see it move here. That's a good-looking race car. Alien Workshop Machine. That's Carson Catlin's going to go around the outside. Not going to get it done. He's going to the inside for turn 2. Can't get it quite to stick, but he's racing hard down the turn 3.
A hard fight currently on here for the number 3 spot as this pack continues to battle its way around. And this is going to be a fight that goes all the way down to the checkered flag, you have to imagine at this point, as looking like the 666 of Carson Catlin is going to be able to hold on against the 549 of Kyle Smith. And that means that for Ethan Hamlet, with a near 5-second advantage out front, is going to have absolutely no competition. He'll come around turn 11. He'll come around turn 12. And Ethan Hamlet, the winner this afternoon in the sprint race at the Winton Motor Circuit.
Yeah, clean run there for Ethan. Great finish there. Second place tonight is going to be Jake Kasich, Chris Bright. Nice little race here between Darren Bai and Alexander Bueller to the line. And then a huge gaggle of cars that grab the last few transfer positions to the feature. Of course, these guys will be inverted as they head into the feature race, and then the shenanigans begin. Where's the party going to be this time?
Can't decide. Do they want
to really? They didn't figure it out.
I was saying, do they want it to be in turn 1 or do they want it to be on the exit of turn 2? It's a bit of a who's who right now.
I feel like that tire wall right there would have been a great spot. But
everyone's seeing who can shoot that gap there.
Typically they look for ramps, they look for other things like that to launch the cars, but now there's now everybody's going into each other. That's perfect.
Yeah, they just needed to get one or two of them to get piled up in an obvious spot for everybody to aim for. Well, no surprises here in this one as the sprint race here at the Winton Motor Raceway draws to a close. We took ourselves a quick step back here on this one, and say what a thrilling way to kick off racing action this afternoon. Here's the top 10 in the sprint. They will be inverted with 11th and 12th as well coming into the main event in just a few minutes time. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV, where we are gearing up for more racing action here at the Winton Motor Circuit. What a sprint race we had here this afternoon. Passing seemed like it was hard to come by here, Chris, but that didn't stop drivers from putting on a show because they were beating and banging whenever they did manage to get alongside.
Absolutely. Tons of beating and banging, tons of running off the... I saw a lot of drivers running wide through some of the corners, especially their turn 3, I think was a trouble point, Honda corner it's called. Of course, coming out of turn 2 on the chicane there seemed like a trouble spot next out of the corner. But yeah, very different racetrack than Lime Rock. These guys are able to get separated here. They're able to kind of build some gaps. So yeah, once we get through the first few laps, I think you're going to see the overtakes become a little more selective when necessary.
And, of course, Ethan Hamlet making a big statement here by taking that sprint race win in such commanded fashion. He was able to come from behind to win at Lime Rock Park as well. If he can get out in front here in this one, he could have a good effort. But, of course, getting up front is going to be the problem if the pass is going to remain a challenge throughout the field today.
Absolutely. I think he's strong, obviously very talented driver, should be able to get it done. Of course, the unknown factor in this race is the weather. Like, when is it going to rain? Is it going to rain before it's time to do the pit stop? Where, they're going to have to make at least one pit stop for fuel anyway. How the Code 69 is going to fall into that. So you got a lot more strategy this week than you did last week at Lime Rock. So we'll keep an eye on that, and maybe it determines, maybe it helps Ethan. Maybe it, maybe he's not quite ready to make that decision and gets caught out by it. We'll see.
That, of course, is determining if it does actually rain here this afternoon, which, hey, it could be a big if. Right now, it's looking like a 50-50 shot that we get rain in the main event. So we'll have to hold on to our hats and see where things are going to line up here this afternoon. Speaking of lineups, let's show you where they start for the main event. 1 hour of racing action from Australia. Getting set to come at you down that front straightaway into the turns 1, 2, chicane. Starting on the pole position then this afternoon, it's of course going to be Giovanni Romano coming home 12th in the sprint. He is number 1 in the main. Austin Tucker comes home 2nd place. From there, it's going to be Kyle Blevington, Scott Fleming 3rd, and 4th row 3 holding Brooks Clayton and Aaron Thacker. From there, it's Ron Wolf and Alexander Bueller, Darren Bai, and Chris Bright. Bring up the top 10 with 2nd and 1st place in the sprint, Jake Kasich and Ethan Hamlet. Back to the field, you got Alex Cofford, Henry Morris, Greg Beckman, Chris Flamsbury Piper, Justin Hall, Ben Williams, Alex King, Carl Behrens, Ryan Verhulst, Carsey Catlin, James Gouge, Kyle Smith, Sean Nellen, Ethan Condi, Tyler Augustino, Adam Joseph Milha, Evan Campbell, Jordan Babcock, Blake Gambrell, Frank Bertucci, Ryan Murphy, Eric Ronenberg, Matthew Dupuis, Stephen Purcell, Ringo Harrison brings up the 38.
38 cars in Winton. It's going to be an hour long. It's going to be a great race. I think we're going to see a lot of. A few guys are out of position. I mean, I'm not used to seeing Gio start up front. That's really interesting to me. But we're going to watch Ethan and those guys run up the back. Coffer coming up through the field, Henry Morse coming up through the field. So we'll see some overtakes. Just a matter of how clean will this start be, and will we see anybody pull away? Will Gio pull away? Will we? Will Ethan be able to catch him? We'll find out.
Still waiting on the last few cars. The grid would not be surprised if we saw Cofford and Romano start this race from pit road. That has seemed to be the norm from them over the last little while. But for the time being, an hour of racing set to kick off. Still waiting on Justin Hall, Henry Morris, Alexander Bueller, and Tyler Augustino. Would not be surprised. Again, wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few drivers start from pit road. But right now, there's a sizable portion of the grid that is not present.
Yeah, Gio's not there, so you're right. He maybe do the pit lane start and just roll with it from there. That's more what I would expect from him, but we'll see here in a few seconds.
It's a long hold on the grid here this afternoon as they are really stalling this for now. There may have been 1 or 2 drivers that had technical problems, and they're waiting to see if they get them resolved. Well, they did not, and so the rev's going to build. And it's go, go, go at Australia's action track. Taking off towards turn number 1. It's going to be Austin Tucker. 1 car already into the grass, just a little ways behind. But they're able to hold on for the time being. Tucker makes his way and cuts across the corner. That's going to be a disaster. And he's hard into the wall. Look out, right in the middle of traffic. Can everyone avoid him? It's disaster for the pole center. And Tucker drops back through the field as a result.
Unbelievable. Lost it in the chicane, nosed it in the wall. Thankfully, nobody crashing into him. That could have been a huge incident at the start of this race, but honestly handled very well by the rest of the field. And yeah, you got to be ready to go, and it happens to everybody. Unfortunately for Austin, there is not the start he's looking for. He'll be back into here for too long with Code 69.
Chris Bright right now fighting it out with Darren By, still double file for a good chunk of the field. See a lot of aggression here in the early minutes of this one, as drivers trying to make up whatever spots they can before they're forced to go single file, where passing can at some points become a little bit of a premium. 1 minute down, and we're up to one lap out of an estimated 40 in the books. This is what happened to Austin Tucker coming out of turn 2.
See, did he just get too deep into the... Yeah, he just overshot the corner and just lost the car. Look at the avoidance.
That was Clayton that just got around him in the number 9.
My goodness, what a move by Brooks Clayton. Tip of the cap to you, sir. Getting her through that incident and even jumping the curbs and everything. Well handled.
We'll get another look at that from Clayton's view in a moment, but right now we got ourselves quite the run from this field as they make their way back into the turn 1-2 chicane. And you take a look back all the way through this field, riders make their way through. Will everyone get through the second time around? Looks like they will without much dramas in this one. A little bit of side-by-side, but that's all the way to the back end of the field.
That's a great camera shot right there. We need to have more of that. Great camera work here on the field. Yeah, so again, you got to get through the first few laps. If you can do that, you kind of get into your rhythm here as Austin Tucker is under threat or overtake. Looks like he's overtaken there, but working his way back up the field. Got a lot of work, a lot of ground to make up, but still plenty of time to get it done. Side by side further back behind. But Ethan Hamlet, by the way, already up to 5th place here in 2 laps. As Tucker, again, kind of clumsy through that corner there. I don't know if did he make the next turn? I guess he did.
Carl Barron's off the road in the meantime. He's going to lose a few spots, but then get back onto the racetrack before too much more of an incident takes hold.
It seems like the kind of track, if you get off the pavement, it gets messy. Like, it's just rough. There's either a drop off the edge or the curbs kind of pull you off. Like, we've seen the cars get 2 wheels in the grass, throughout the sprint and even in the feature, just trying to run these laps as wide as they can. So again, it's the characteristic of an old school track, Nolan.
Kyle Blevins has not been able to get away as well as he might have liked here to kick this one off. Right on board with Brooks Clayton. He is now up to 3rd, and his race saved by this quick reflex. He went cutting left, and hello, just gets around a spinning 243.
Goodness. My goodness. Yes, small clap. Very well done, Brooks.
There you go. Golf clap of applause there. Aaron
Good
Thacker.
race back here.
Yeah, no kidding. A lot of side-by-side to the front porch of the field. Ron Wolf trying to attack Ethan Hamlet. Hamlet kind of mired in the midfield right now within that 5th place spot. Kyle Blevins, Scott Fleming, they're pulling the gap on the field. They've now got a 2.5 seconds on Aaron Thacker.
They're trying. I mean, these cars back here, you're kind of battling each other, and ooh. When they go into these hairpins, I mean, they close up on each other so fast. I always think they're going to run into each other, but so far they've been pretty clean. But yeah, single file throughout the field now. It's just a matter of who's going to have more pace to get into these corners, do the overtake, pull ahead down the next straightaway. And you see, look at the slipstream. Look at everybody just snaking across the track, getting that toe down the straightaway. That's what you need to do with these cars to have any sort of run by the time you get to the end of the corner here, or into the straightaway.
On board with Fleming's roof as he tries to hound Kyle Blevins for the lead of the race. Blevins doing a good job on maintaining ground for the time being up front. And Fleming has not been too eager to go for a full overtake on this one. You'll take a look at some drivers deeper in the pack here. Can't say the same about contenders like Evan Campbell. He's been trying to apply pressure on Nelly because he's got Giovanni Romano right behind him.
That's wide.
Oh, boy.
Good save.
That's going to cause him to get caught here by Romano.
Yeah, he'll lose a position for that, but he didn't wreck the car. He was fighting that one all the way through both those corners there. Yeah, I'm not surprised Kyle and Scott up front are not fighting each other. I mean, they are pulling away, like you said, Nolan. I think if you just keep running clean laps, you will continue to hold that gap. as long as the guys behind you keep fighting, which seems like they're trying to not do. But look at this gaggle of cars here.
Quite a few contenders still having issues throughout the field here. There's Chris Bright squeezing Flams out to the left-hand side, but left him space so we can stay on the racetrack. But that did compromise Flams from being able to attack coming around turn number 10.
Yeah, heading down here to the two penultimate corners here to complete the lap. As this is a difficult track to pass on. You're starting to see it in action here. You can't get enough speed down the end of these straightaways to really make a dive unless the car in front of you either has a bad exit or you have such a strong exit to kind of get the momentum. But
whoa! Bright!
Didn't even lose any time doing that.
Kicking the right or the left sides up, but he's able to keep it together. Now Flam's going to get down the inside, and he'll overtake him for the 8th place spot. Good composure there for Bright. Didn't panic, kept that car going the right way.
My goodness, I guess he did lose a spot, but yeah, probably didn't even lift. Just got it going. Man, this is unbelievable. So good battle here between Ron Wolf and Jake Kasich here. Kasich trying to go around the outside, try to stick it up the inside here of turn number 9. Not going to get it done as Ron Wolf's going to close the door. Kasich definitely looks like he's got the speed here on Wolf, but it's so hard to get alongside. But he's close enough to get it done here. If Ron makes another mistake somewhere, he's going to be right there ready to pounce.
He's looking, not going to commit though into turn 11 at least. He's got some toe, but not enough to be able to do it successfully. Barry Piper tumbling down the field, and he's off the road. That looks like a technical failure of some description there, Chris.
Yeah, his wheels cranked hard to the left, and he's not moving. I don't know if we can get a replay of that, but maybe did the controls just lock and he tried? Let's see. This is going into turn 10, I believe. Here's a blink, and then does he just come back off the track? Oh, look, wheels locked.
Oh yeah, that's a hardware failure for sure. Probably lost power to the rig.
Tough break there for tough. It happens. I mean, it happened. It's happened to me before. I know it's happened to a bunch of other people as well. I mean, it's one of them things, man. It's just like having a car break in real life.
Round the outside for Alex King off the road as he challenges Ben Williams. King gets down the inside. He'll take over the 12th place spot. A brave lunge, though, for King to keep the 187 behind him. And now he'll seek to run down Greg Beckman, who's about another second up the road. A brave look around the high side for King. But gutsy moves tend to pay off at a track like this.
Yeah, you're going to have to send it, I think. And I mean, if you get any sort of run that gets you close enough, I think you have to send it, or at least make the driver ahead of you think you're going to send it, resulting in the overtake, resulting in them making a mistake, and you get in position. And I mean, we're seeing it now. Like, I mean, you know how fast Ethan Hamlin is, right? But he got the P5 after 2 laps, and he's been sitting there for the last like 6-7 minutes. So it's when the cars are close together, it's easy to pass, but when the cars are not close together, it's harder to get them runs.
And so the battle is going to continue on. New fastest lap of the race for Giovanni Romano, and of course he's fighting his way through the field back for the 20th place spot on the grid. Right now tucked up right behind Ethan Condi. So Romano trying to push through the order, but right now it's a bit of a tall task for that 99 entry.
Look how wide they run there out of that corner. I think that's what, turn 4 right there. I've seen a bunch of cars run wide out there, and I don't know if it gives you a slowdown, because you see right now, yeah, the car behind Romano, see how much time he lost, maybe bleeding off slowdown or something. I'm not quite sure. So 187's off the track.
Yeah, that's Ben Williams.
It's an interesting spot to go off. I wonder if we just got in too hot right there. Maybe got a little bit of help. Not sure, but look at the helmet. It's like the alien helmet. I love that. That's great.
And we've got ourselves with a code 69 coming up end of this lap. This time by, so Kyle Blevins will be coming down to the wire this time through, and Blevins will be your race leader. First code 69. So far, no one is coming down pit road.
Yeah, so if you're new to Beer League, code 69 is basically a safety car. It's a custom yellow flag system Beer League uses to just avoid some issues. And but yeah, it's basically everybody's under a safety car now. The field's frozen. You can pit. Pit road is open, and they do have to pit in this race at some point. It's definitely too early for the one stop, so we'll see if there's any strategy here. I mean, I don't know, Nolan, do you roll the dice and just go ahead and top it off with fuel? I mean, maybe there's rain coming that we don't know about, and if that's the case, then you stay until you know that's coming, but I don't know. What do you do here?
Well, the drivers have a greater idea of how weather is shaking up than we do, right? Because obviously we don't tend to get the weather radars up here, but the drivers will have that information very much. And a few drivers have come down to this worth noting. Behrens, Campbell, Tucker, Augustino, they all came down pit road this time by, but otherwise 31st on up, they've all stayed out.
Yeah, so the majority of the field staying out. And yeah, well, it is too early for the one stop. And if I'm a driver and I know rain's coming later and it gets me closer to that one stop window, then that's what I'm going to shoot for. I mean, the advantage now, if you're in the bottom third of the field, maybe you had an early incident or something, take the pit stop now. It gives you a shorter pit stop down the road. You can make some time up that way as well. But with the track being, as hard as it is to pass here, maybe you stay out as long as you can. Just do the one stop for guaranteed track position.
So this is going to slow the pack down a little bit here over the next several minutes. So what we can do, we can take a rundown of some of the excitement that's coming up here on Green Flag TV. We're finally entering busy season once again for us here on the channel. On Friday night, the Zero Torque Racing League will be closing out the round of 16 of the playoffs at the Pocono Raceway before they chop off the bottom four of the points and move into the round of 12. The SRA IL Truck Series will take to the Echo Park Speedway after a wild race at Daytona to kick off the Saturday Truck Series season. Meanwhile, the Precision Automobile Club Esports Toyota GR86 Series, coming off one of their most thrilling races at the Glen 2 weeks ago. They will be at Oschersleben in Germany for their penultimate race. One of the biggest series, though, that'll be coming to the channel for some time. The Collegiate iRacing League Cup Series makes its debut on Green Flag TV with the season opener on Monday night at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They will be alongside the High Tide Racing League at the Michigan International Speedway. From there, the Aspire Racing Series will see the ISO Refrigeration Sports Car League take to Motorland Aragon, and then it is going to be the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series back for more at Daytona for the season opener that night, and they will be joined alongside the OMSRL Cup Series, who will be at Michigan for a triple header on Tuesday before we're back for more on Wednesday. So, Chris, quite a lot of excitement coming on up for us here this afternoon, and that's only a taste because we've got ourselves a lot of new blood coming to the Green Flag TV roster, and so far, a lot of those series have been having quite a few barn burners to kick off their championships, making good impressions for an early going.
I'll tell you what, I mean, the beginning of the year is always a great time for any racing league, especially, the iRacing leagues. You got a lot of seasons coming to an end, seasons getting started. Obviously getting leagues broadcasted is exciting for the drivers and the fans of for those drivers as well. So, yeah, I'm glad to see Green Flag TV got a lot of races on the docket, which is awesome to see. And, yeah, it's always a good time to get into iRacing, get into the leagues, and really find what battles you're going to find yourself in for the rest of the season. So, absolutely, good stuff.
It's going to be a thrilling afternoon of racing, and I have a feeling that quite a lot of drivers are going to be excited as well. Already we see these guys doubling up, which means we're going to be bringing this Code 69 to an end. No surprise that this was a quick one based on how few cars were a lap down. We had only gotten about 10 minutes of racing in. And so, gearing up for more racing action here this afternoon as they'll make their way to turns numbers 11 and 12. And Chris, that green flag looms on the front straightaway.
Yeah, a couple more corners to go. Got some word from the drivers that the rain will probably not come until after the race, so we'll see if any surprises come that way.
Coming to the start-finish line this time by and they're going to hold them a little bit longer, likely going to wait until they get right up to the chicane. Remember, it is leader's discretion once they are given the go-ahead by race control. So we will not be double filed in the turns 1 and 2 this time by, but we will be double filed in the turn number 3 as they take off looking for 4 wide down the stretch there towards turn number 3. And the field is taken off into 4.
Yeah, a lot of aggressive driving right now, trying to get these positions back that were lost before in the first stint there. So very clean so far. Blevins out front, Fleming second, Aaron Thacker's up there. Jake Kasich just got past Ethan Hamlet for 5th. As the field continues to snake their way around this circuit into the first hairpin, turn 7. Anybody going to go for a dive or go around? Looks very clean. Then back to the left through turn 8, and then back to the even tighter turn number 9. Very clean. Oh, no, that's a wreck there in turn 9. Leaders are around.
Yes, sir. A few cars going around. That was Jake Kasich in particular that was given a bit of a shunt there as he got spun around at turn number 9. Everybody else fanning out, and look at this Hornet's Nest down in the turn 10. Surely someone's going to go around off the exit. Yep, sure enough. There they go. Chris Flams turns sideways, middle of the pack, and that's going to collect a couple of them. And a big pileup coming out of 10 that time through.
Yeah, I saw a couple teammates there. It looked like they got together. I think that was 2 of the, not sure which team that is. They're still trying to figure this out. There they go.
And still more disagreements on the racetrack over track position. These guys just cannot keep it out of each other all of a sudden. We had such a clean opener to the race, such a clean opener to the restart, but they get into turn 10 and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, I think people realize, the drivers have realized you got to go for these overtakes when you get a shot here. And unfortunately, a lot of the wrecks that we're seeing, at least that wreck we just saw right there was on the straightaway. Yeah, 2 teammates there get together and turn right into Flams, and then Flams just gets passenger doored right down the straightaway. And it took a couple corners to sort all this out as everybody's, I mean, this track's not very big, no, it's not very wide, so it looks like they're just running out of room to negotiate here.
Yeah, there's not a lot when it comes to the there's not a whole lot when it comes to maneuverability out on this racetrack, and for a lot of drivers, you can tell that they're struggling a little bit in the early goings here. There goes Jordan Babcock. He is just rejoining the racing surface, and as a result, he has got himself a black flag for cutting the course.
Oh no, you don't want to see that. He must have. Yeah, that's one thing about this track. It seems like there's a lot of grass to go cut. So if you take the wrong line, you can definitely get a iRacing black flag there. It's unfortunate for him. As Blevins and Fleming still up front. You got a decent gap again over Thacker. Probably the biggest surprise I've seen here in the first 20 minutes, Nolan, is Ethan Hamlet has not been able to get up past 5th place. I expected him by this point to be up there fighting for the lead, but he seems to get up to about 5th and just kind of plateaus. But even with that incident we saw in the restart between like Clayton and those guys, didn't really gain any positions there. So just shows how hard it is to pass on this track.
Alexander Bueller further in the pack, trying to fight it out with Ben Williams. Williams pushed all the way out to the curbing, but he's able to keep it together. Bueller with a bit of a step out as well, and Flams repays the favor down the stretch in towards turn number 5, and Bueller doesn't look like he's taking too kindly to that as he leaned on the back bumper through 5.
No, Bueller, he's not the one to take that lightly at all. These are teammates here, and another one of the alien cars goes around. Carson's going to have to talk to these boys back when they get back to the paddock later.
Beckman holding on. Williams trying to look for the over-under here, and Beckman get a little bit stacked up as well, and it looks like Beckman might actually be lifting to try to let these guys get a run on him. I don't think he's too keen on fighting it out. Williams takes the inside, Beckman out wide, and with that momentum around the outside, Beckman's been able to hold on to the spot for quite a while.
You know, Beckman's the ultimate gentleman driver here, just trying to not cause an incident, just trying to run his race, but doing it, I mean, not in a unpredictable way. Unfortunately, it's making it very difficult for Flams to get around him, and he's doing. But it just shows. Look at how hard it is to pass. I mean, Beckman is just driving his race like he's looking in the mirror. Okay, you go that way, I'll go this way, and they still can't pass him.
Well, the battles are still showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon. What do you think? Are we going to be getting ourselves with a lunge here for this spot before long? Is Greg Beckman in trouble, or has he found his rhythm to be able to fight this one out for a potential runner here?
I think something's going to happen here, 100%. It's going to happen between those alien cars right there. They're side by side going through turn number 5, up the hill through 6, and over to 7. They're still side by side.
Oh boy,
this could go. Yeah. This is going to go some direction here pretty quick.
It's getting dicey out here, isn't it? And quite a few drivers, I don't think, are looking keen on settling this one down anytime soon, are they? So, lot of battling still yet to be had as Ben Williams and Jake Kasich fight it out. Williams to the inside, holds on. Kasich with that over-under, though.
What a move. That's the kind of move you've got to make. Kasich making this run back up toward the front. Can he get the position done? Now he's got 2 right-hand corners in the turn 11. Yep, he's going to get the door closed there on Ben Williams. Bueller's ahead now. Yeah, this is great racing right here in this section of the track. These guys leaning on each other a little bit. Love to see it. Right on board with Adam Joseph Mailhot as he runs down behind Henry Morse right now.
Trying to run down the Formula 5 contender up front as Morse gives the curves a little bit of a how do you do, but doesn't give them any more than that. Not keen on testing the limits on that one, it would seem. A lot of fights in the deeper portions of this race. Up front, a lot of the battles started to really separate out. It's everything from realistically in the back half of the field that's up for grabs.
Yeah, I still think you got a few drivers out of position back here, and it's causing a few of these bunches of cars that need to get sorted out. But it's just so hard to pass. Therefore, they're gonna sit here like this, and but yeah, I mean there's just no room to do anything. I can sense the frustration from the driver's perspective. As meanwhile, up front, something's happened to Blevins.
I think Blevins had a bad run coming out of turn 10. You saw Chris Bright get around him, and Ethan Hamlin nearly got him as well. Hamlin, I'm sure, is feeling extra frustrated with this, right? Because, I mean, he's a driver that has a race-winning car. He pulled a 5-second gap on this whole field. And I will bet if he can get around these guys, he would absolutely be running away with this race right now. The problem is he has not been able to find a way through.
He's got that curb figured out, though, doesn't he? Coming across, hopping
Yes,
across.
sir.
He's running every bit of this racetrack. But, I mean, the good news is he is in the slipstream. So all 5 of these guys are, they are getting a toe off each other. Nobody's really running away now that Blevins is going to fall back a little bit. But, yeah, I think you're going to see, I mean, we're not done. I think we're going to see Hamlet is going to run some of these folks down. Will he get past all of them? Who knows? But remember, we got a pit stop to play here, too. I haven't seen how pit road looks at this track. Maybe there's enough room to gain some time in and out of there as well. Still a long way to go here.
Blevins continuing to retain that run in number 39. The top 5 have been pretty closely separated through a good chunk of this race. And, oh, here we go. A lot of side-by-side, seemingly out of nowhere here. I think Buell had a bad run. That checked everyone up in this pack. This is 13th all the way through 18th that are double file.
Yeah, 3 of those alien workshop cars there leading that pack. But then behind that, yeah, you got some folks like Kasich's in there. Ronenberg's in there. A lot of fast drivers in this little pack right now, but yeah, especially if the 2 alien workshop cars are going to hold side by side around the racetrack, they can just hold everybody up behind them. Nobody's going to get around any of them.
Right now, Eric Ronenberg. Oh, close on the side of Jake Kasich as they fight their way back around to the front. You're right aboard with Henry Morse. Tucked up behind Ronenberg and the 11 of Kasich. He's going to make that look to the right-hand side. 2 wheels in the grass. You see him twitch on the entry. And now up front, Kasich and Ronenberg contact. Kasich squeezes Ronenberg out.
I thought Ronenberg would go for the over-under there, but he got checked up there by Kasich running wide. Now he's under threat from Henry Morse up the inside of turn 3. Morse is going to follow Kasich around the inside. Ronenberg is going to try to hold it around the outsides. Can he do it 2 quarters in a row? He's going to try. Now he's going to have the inside line for the long turn 5. That should give him the position over Morse as they head through this long left-hander. And he's going to hold the position for now unless Morse is going to send something back here into turn number 7. He's gave him a little look, but he's not going to have the room to get it done.
Saw how sideways the 017 got coming through there as well of Eric Ronenberg. That car was power sliding out of here. A stellar job for Ronenberg to keep that car running clean and green. Meanwhile, Scott Fleming, Aaron Thacker, and more, they continue to fight it out here with Aaron Thacker tucked up right behind that number 37 car. And all of this still 3 minutes shy of halfway.
Yeah, the racing's definitely starting to pick up now. I think drivers are starting to realize they've got to get some moves done here if they want to. Should be approaching the pit stop window here, too, at some point, Nolan, as we get to the halfway point. And again, look at the wiggles there from Aaron Thacker. No, sorry, that's not Aaron Thacker. That's the...
that is Thacker.
Oh, it is Thacker. Thank you. Yeah, so Thacker was wiggling through the chicane there. All of these drivers are running these cars, I mean, as hard as they can right now. And you can clearly see they're all on the limit, which is just, again, reinforcing how difficult it is to get these moves done.
Alex Cofford has already come down for his mandatory stop here this race. He pitted, kind of looking at the notes here, just a lap or 2 ago. So Cofford, one driver who will be good to go, and then the Code 69 comes out this afternoon.
Yeah, and you know, I think I said it last week. I mean, I used to watch what Cofford and Gio did, and I say I'll try to mimic their strategy. So, I mean, we're definitely thinking the one-stop window if he's pulling the pit stop. And, you know, from what the reports I saw were, we're not going to get any rain until after the event right now. But I'm starting to see some other drivers starting to pit as well. So maybe we're going to get there. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the leaders play out and who's going to come out in the lead on the other side here.
Fleming still leads. Thacker second. Bright third. Blevins fourth. Hamlet back in fifth. Greg Beckman under fire here. Bueller around the outside of turn 10, and he's got him easily as Alexander Bueller powers through into the 12th place spot. Ben Williams now trying to go down the inside of Greg Beckman as well.
Beckman held him off for a long time, but eventually just couldn't keep it done forever. Now he got swallowed up by a couple of cars. Third car coming through. So 3 cars overtaking Greg Beckman there in a series of 2 corners. But Greg's still having a great run today up at P15 halfway at the halfway point of this race.
And a few cars coming down pit road. That's Tucker, Gambrel, Flams, and others that are all in the pit road this time by. So you called it pretty much right on the money. Pit window is open, and they're coming in right at halfway.
Yeah, none of the leaders have pitted quite yet. The first, at least out of the top 5, we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe they'll come in this time through. But at this stage, a lot of the cars deeper in the pack. You know, of course, the longer you stay out, too, the less fuel you need to put into the car. So there's a benefit of doing that. We saw drivers last week getting a free set of tires while they're there as well. So we expect all the drivers to do the same thing here. As now you look at the pack where we had, you know, Ben Williams and Alexander Bueller and Beckman and all these guys are still very close together. Nobody can quite pull away. But I'm curious to see if the leaders are going to be dropping into the pits this time by or not. That'll help to kind of tell us. They're right at the halfway point of this race now.
The battle's going to continue on. Ryan Verhulst leading in a pack of 4 right now from 21st. Just saw Tyler Augustino attack Sean Nolan to get around him. Coming through turn 10 as well. And Beckman continues to drop back as now Henry Morse has found his way on through. So Beckman officially now in the net negatives when it comes to positions here. And I imagine Beckman's going to be frustrated, right? He was at one point up where Alexander Bueller was at the head of this train. And now he's dropped back several positions. And You know, that might be getting to his head a little bit.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be tilted quite a little bit here, but he's still having a good run, and he'll settle down. You know, Greg's one of these guys, very level-headed driver, very clean driver, so I'm sure he'll be just fine. But honestly, looking over at the timing tower, where did Giovanni Romano come from? How did he get to 6th place so quickly? How did I miss that? Because he's there and he's up there. I mean, he's in the slipstream in the top 5 now.
Well, you got Greg Beckman and Eric Ronenberg at the very least still looking to fight it out with one another. As Ronenberg makes his way to the inside of Beckman, secures the spot. So Ronenberg picks up yet another drive, and still got Bueller, Williams, and Kasich leading the way up the road. We are now into the back half of this race here. 28 minutes on the cards. What do you think, Chris? I mean, we've already got 1 yellow flag tonight. Do we think we're going to be getting the second slowdown in this one?
Well, we got 2 last week at Lime Rock, and you got still a long way to go in this race. I'm gonna put my money on, I think we'll get 1 more, and I think it's gonna come. If I were the driver, I'd say it's gonna come pretty soon. I would think it's gonna come out pretty close to halfway here, so we'll see.
And you're not wrong.
Oh,
hold on. Bit of a bobble there, and in fact, coming to the pit road is going to be James Gouge at the number 76. As I see him spinning off the track on the left-hand side as he's going to make his way into pit road. Alexander Bueller still leads the way for what is now 10th on up, and pit road
there goes somebody.
Oh, boy.
Somebody had a tank slapper there through the corner.
Is that Kasich, maybe?
I think it was. I think he lost the position to Morse in that process. Big tank slapper going through turn 3 there. As he's running behind Ben Williams here as he heads down toward turn 3. I think the car just starts to come around.
He clipped the grass on the way in.
There he goes. Nice save, though. Well done. Cost a position, but he's still going the right direction.
Chris Bryant up front. 2nd place, 0.6 of a second behind Scott Fleming. Fleming has been doing a fantastic job on holding on so far in this one.
Oh, 100%. 100% setting the pace. Again, the top 5, nobody coming into the pit yet. Top 5 staying out. I think you got 6th place there. Is that Giovanni Romano just dove in there, or is that Ron Wolf I saw?
I think Ron Wolf and Darren Bai, I think, are both in.
Gotcha. So Gio must have pitted last lap. So yeah, they're at that window, and I love watching these cars go over those curves. That's so cool. But yeah, so the top 5 though, they're all kind of running the same pace. They're all running, I guess, maybe they're all going to pit at the same time. But I'm curious to see if there's any of these undercuts from like Gio or Ron or any of these guys actually work and they come out in a better position.
Scott Fleming only has 1 win to his name. It came in season number 10 when we were running the BMW M2 CS racing cars. That was at Snetterton on the 200 layout in what was a rain-soaked race. That, quite literally here, Chris, was January 21st, 2025. 365 days ago, exactly 1 year down to the hour that he won that race. And right now, he is trying to see if he can come out here and double it up on the 1 year anniversary of his maiden win in the beer league.
And wouldn't that be something to have another win on the 1 year anniversary of your first win? You couldn't script that stuff, though.
You really couldn't, right? That's something you'd see in like a Hollywood film. He did get a podium last week in Lime Rock Park, right? So he is a driver that knows how to get some significant spots in this one, making his 40th start this afternoon.
Oh, look at this. Lap car. What is going on in the pit lane entry? Did you see that? There was a lap car ahead of the leaders, completely missed turn 11, rejoined on the pit entry, and really bottlenecked the other 4 leaders coming in. They lost a significant amount of time right there, not running over Gouge.
And keep in mind,
so,
James Gouge here. Oh my, he got hit from behind. Keep in mind, keep in mind, Gouge had pitted less than 5 laps earlier. He must have forgotten to take fuel.
He completely. So I saw that he was ahead of the leaders going into turn 11, missed the corner and just slid right into the pit lane. And those 4 leaders had to just check up. You saw one of them ran right in the back of them. So they're going to lose a ton of time. Fleming just gained, 2 or 3 seconds over all those leaders through that process. because they all pitted at the same time.
Yeah, big news here for Scott Fleming. Could be in with a handy run here, but remember, he's got Ethan Hamlet right behind him, and Hamlet's won the sprint race, and Hamlet could be a tough cookie for Fleming to beat. Fleming's going to have a lot of his work cut out for him. This could very well come down to how the pit stops run. Fleming too wide through 10, and Hamlet's gap is quickly closing.
Oh yeah, 100%. He closed it right up, considering there were 4 cars between them a second ago. So they're both going to pit now.
All right.
Let's see how clean this is going to be on the pit entry here. As they round that last couple right-hand turns.
No!
And see, there it goes. There it goes. Was that Hamlet?
It was. No, that was Fleming
no.
off the road.
So the overtake happened heading into the pit lane. There you go.
Now, there is a chance for Fleming to get this back. He's got to be absolutely perfect on pit exit. Let's look back, find out what the heck happened to Scott Fleming on the way in. This is on board with Hamlet. He was right behind him.
Just too wide.
They both went too wide, but Fleming made the greater mistake.
Ooh, did he make the pit lane entry there?
He did.
So who's going to come out in the lead on this?
That is the question, isn't it? Now, as
well, all that time we said they gained, they just lost by doing that little thing. But Agostino took the lead, but he's probably. I mean,
well, that does it. Hamlet into the lead. He was a full second quicker in the box, and 1.3 seconds quicker.
Look who's right on his bumper, who pitted early there. Giovanni Romano, with already warm tires ready to go, is all over the back of Hamlet. We've got a race for the lead here, Nolan.
And all of this with only 7 minutes to go for us to get a secondary code 69. Otherwise, this race will be green to the end. Hamlet trying to hold on. Romano on the warmed-up tires, trying to go around the long way. Hamlet does not have those tires at a working temp yet, and it's a cool track out there. He's going to hop the curve. He slides out, and Romano takes the lead.
There you go. That's warm tires versus cold tires right there all day long. As I'm assuming Agostino's going to have to pit at some point, because I think he took one of the early pit stops, if I remember you saying that correctly. So we're going to consider this the battle for the lead at the moment. And yeah, Romano warm tires. Hamlet was throwing it in there. How about Evan Campbell up there in 4th? I think he had an early pit stop as well, though. So really our top 3 would be Romano, Hamlet, and Fleming, which makes sense considering how the other drivers got bottlenecked there going into the pit. But yeah, Romano he obviously had a clean pit stop, gained on everybody there through that pit cycle.
All the while, other fights still on. There's the Austin Tucker being pushed aside by Henry Morris. Tucker tried to cover off Morris at a 10. It was no dice, and Morris on 4-lap fresher tires fights his way around the 243. You still have this mass gaggle that has not been able to break away from one another, even with pit stops splitting them up temporarily.
Yeah, it just seems like the slipstream is just big enough to keep everybody in the same window, but you can't do any overtakes. But you're not pulling away on the straightaways, so therefore you're looking at a bumper all around the racetrack.
Kyle Blevins situated in the 8th place spot right now, down 5 after he started this run from 3rd, having finished in 10th in the sprint race. So looking for double top 10s here in points this afternoon. That's not a bad point haul for the number 39 for his team.
That'd be a great run. But for sure. And then you got the other end of the spectrum. You got folks like Ronenberg out there running 25th at the moment, who started the sprint race, if I recall correctly, in 2nd position, but then get caught up in an incident and just has not been able to recover at all. It just goes to show, the sprint race, typically in a beer league, you kind of chuckle at the sprint race sometimes, and it is what it is. But a place like this, it makes all the difference for your starting position in this race, and therefore what kind of run you can design for yourself. So. But then you got folks like Romano, who started from the pit lane up there in 2nd place. I saw Crawford's name on the ticker there for a little bit before the pit stop cycle, so he was up there for the mix as well. But obviously Giovanni Romano having a tremendous run this evening at this track. Obviously just doing amazing things. The question I have is, he pitted early in that cycle. I just have to assume he can make it to the end, because he's been able to stretch fuel better than anybody I remember in the beer league. So But there's a question mark there. I mean, maybe did he get enough fuel? Did he put enough in it? Will he be able to stretch it out? We'll see.
It's the big question right now that everyone is going to be asking here this afternoon. Does he have what it takes to make a run that he needs throughout this pack and still have other battles up for grabs as Justin Hall, Alexander Bueller, Henry Morse, all in for 12th, 13th, and 14th. A big dive for Morse, looking to carry momentum through on Bueller, but that momentum swings back the other way. Morse is going to have to hang this one the long way around a very long corner. Oh. Contact! But Morse holds on, and he takes the spot away.
Now, Bueller's not going to give those up easy at all there. So Henry Morse, though, great dive in the turn 7. Was able to hold it through the right, left, right sequence there and take the position. Now he sets his sights on Justin Hall as he continues his run toward the front of the field. He's got a big run here on Justin down the straightaway toward turn 11. Don't know if he's got enough to do unless he goes for another dive. He's not going to do it right now, but Henry Morse definitely on the move here.
Kyle Blevins, we've been talking about him quite a bit today. He continues to try to mount a charge on Brooks Clayton, who had that wild avoidance of Austin Tucker earlier in the night. And that is an incident, by the way, from lap number 1 that Tucker has never been able to recover from. This really shows just how devastating that incident was, because he is all the way back at the tail end of the field now in 16th place. And unless he gets that second code 69 in the next 2.5 minutes, this is about as much as he's going to be able to hope for this afternoon.
Yeah, it's same story, different driver. It's just, as I just looked at the ticker, a couple of drivers are out. I saw Coffer's out of the race. I don't know what happened there, but as look at the little argy-bargy going on here between, is that Bueller and was that Kasich there?
Looked like it just about, didn't it? As
look at him running him wide. He's running him out of the track.
Boy.
Bueller, and Kasich's giving him some more bumper there. Yeah, that seems like something to keep an eye on there, Nolan.
Yeah, just a little bit, doesn't it? As this race showing like it's got a lot to offer here still. As oh boy, here we go. 39 car, Kyle Blevins finally getting the offensive run here on Brooks Clayton. He was looking for. Hamlin puts down the new fastest lap of the race, trying to run down Giovanni Romano in the closing stages. Blevins, can he hold on against Clayton here? Coming around through turn 2, out wide. He's gonna keep it together, and they're still side by side in to turn 3.
Yeah, Thacker's going to squeeze in there and say thanks for the position. See, that's what happens. You start battling the cars ahead of you, you lose momentum, and the guy behind you will overtake you. That's exactly what happened there. Brooks ended up losing a spot in Thacker, and then even though he was going for the overtake there on Blevins, it's a risky game, and you got to time it just right. And unfortunately for Brooks there, he's having a strong run today, but ended up losing the position there to Aaron Thacker.
Off the road going Ben Williams. Williams has just had a bit of a spin out there at 10. We got 45 seconds here before the Code 69 closes.
So yeah, we might not get another one. I was just gonna say, it's a relatively clean beer league race. I mean, we've had a few more incidents this week than I think we did last week, but again, these guys drinking 4 or 5 beers along the time while they're doing this, I think it's still a relatively clean race for sure.
So far, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I'm gonna set the benchmark here between Romano and Hamlet right now. That's about a 2-second benchmark right now with about 15 minutes to go. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. If Hamlet can indeed run down Romano, they're both in clean air. So will Ethan be able to get there and get back-to-back wins? We'll see. But look at Henry Morse here. I'm sorry, that's not Henry Morse. Who is that?
That's Scott Fleming and Evan Campbell fighting for the 4th place spot here. And you saw Campbell almost cut turn 2 too tight. That would have offered him a slowdown. In fact, I think Scott Fleming just got a slowdown penalty. He's even checking up big time into Kyle Blevins.
Yeah, he already just lost a ton of momentum right there. Or like you said, he was trying to bleed something off. But yeah, good racing here. I mean, I think Evan's going to have to pit one more time, so he's just getting the TV time while he can, which is awesome to do. But really, it's going to be a battle here between Fleming and Blevins again, just like it's been most of the race. But I think they're battling for the last stop on the podium there, Nolan, because I think it's between Romano and Hamlet, as I think Agostino is going to pit. Yeah, race leader's in. He's going to take his second pit stop. He's going to relinquish the lead. It's going to give Romano and Hamlet the first and second positions, and also Evan Campbell is going to dive in as well. So that's going to be the last pit stops there for anybody up in the top 10. Should give us our final order here as we begin to work the last few laps here.
Cutting around through turn numbers 1 and 2 between Fleming and Blevins here. What is going to be the fight for the third place spot here before the end of this race? By the way, Code 69 window closed about a lap and a half ago, so we are going to be going green from here to the end. It's going to be a one Code 69 race here. You were thinking we might get 2 here. Honestly, I was thinking we might get 2 as well when I saw how early that first one came out within the first 15 minutes. But hey, sometimes it just goes that way. And now these drivers are able to fight it out uninterrupted from here to the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's what... Oh, the car around. Sour Patch Kid's car went around there in turn number 8. I don't know. I think they got it recovered. I thought it was a couple more cars may have got nosed in there a little bit.
Alex King.
But, Alex King was having a good run there in the top 10. I think he collected a couple other cars, though. Let's see. So he's going in. This is heading into turn number 7. Oh, we got punted. That was Ron Wolf.
Yeah, hit from behind by Wolf, who came in way too hot. Probably wasn't going to make the corner had he not hit King first.
That's going to let Henry Morse close in there to the top 8 as he's going to be able to tail these guys. But yeah, the Code 69 thing, you know, it's interesting because you never know. I mean, that's what Beer League does. They try to do some random yellows just to keep the race interesting, give everybody kind of a shot to go in there. But yeah, you see one so early, you think, well, it's got to be another one, right? Because it's all done by random generation. But no, it's a nice one early yellow flag, so the green flag racing all through the end.
Boy, tight scramble there for a couple of contenders. And we just keep going with this fight, don't we? I mean, talk about not showing any hesitation throughout the field, and this could prove to be a bit of a brutal run from here to the end. If these guys keep beating and banging the way they have it, I mean, we're talking lap after lap after lap, and still you see cars swinging out wide, and now they're in the midst of lap trap as well. That's Purcell in the 57.
Yeah, I saw Thacker there go over that curb and almost end up on his driver's door, or the passenger door as the car got up in the air. But you know, Nolan, I don't want to lose sight of what's going on up front, because that 2-second gap that we had 4 minutes ago is now down to under a second between Hamlet and Romano. I think Hamlet is now in the slipstream of Giovanni Romano, so that gap's going to continue to shrink down. This is going to be a battle for the lead here heading into the last 10 minutes. Both these guys extremely quick, and I would love to see the racing between them as they, you know, also they're approaching lap traffic there. But that's going to give Gio a slipstream as well, unless that car gets out of the way, which he is going to. I think is that Ben Williams' color? I think I recognize that one. Okay. Great job for Ben there getting out of the way for these drivers, but the gap now almost down to 3/4 of a second. Yeah, this is going to be closing up here at the very end.
So far, Giovanni Romano and Ethan Hamlet continuing to battle this one through, as we see Romano stepping the back end out just a little bit here. Ethan Hamlet trying to see if he can't retain that gap as well. Side by side, deeper in the pack here. This is Agostino fighting it out with Tucker through turn 2. Bit of a door check, but no harm, no foul. Chris Flams will make use of the lost momentum from Tucker to follow through. No, he won't, because he got hung up on the inside curves.
Yeah, we've seen it happen all race. That inside lane is not guaranteed overtake. I mean, the car on the outside can usually hang it out there and keep the position, so it makes for great racing. But yeah, I mean, 2 admins here up between Agostino and Tucker, so they're going to race each other, cleanly, I would hope. But good racing so far. We've seen back up front. I really saw that last lap. I mean, Hamlet can throw it into turn 7, and that seems like where he gains a ton of time on Romano. Now, that could be either he's just racing the corner different, or it could be Romano's actually saving a little bit of fuel into that corner, because again, we don't know the fuel situation here. He did pit earlier than any of the other leaders to get the undercut here. So watch as we head down. This is going to be heading through turn number 4. They're going to go through the long the long left-hander of turn 5. Watch when we get down to turn 6 and 7. So you see the gap now. When they get down the ticks, watch how Hamlet's going to throw this car in, almost like a motorcycle, drifting the back end in. And he's right on the bumper. You see how much time he gains going into that corner. So that's the second lap he's done that. And then Romano would typically pull away somewhere between here and the start-finish line. So different styles, different lines. But I think if I were to guess, Nolan, I think that's where the move's going to come here between now and the end of this race. So we're throwing in the turn 7 somewhere.
Probably about, 4-5 laps to go, give or take, between the 99 and the 46. 8 minutes on the clock as Giovanni Romano and Ethan Hamlet now sit 0.4 of a second apart. And Hamlet's at the point now where he's gotten there. Now he's just got to try to find a way through.
Oh, yeah, you hear it all the time. It's one thing to get there. It's another thing to pass him. So, I mean, Romano is not going to just roll over and let him through. Therefore, somebody's going to have to make a move here. And, but the thing is, even if Hamlet gets by, he's not going to pull away from Romano, because Romano will then have to slipstream. So this will be a race all the way to the end if these boys manage to keep it clean. But you're right, Hamlet he's there. I mean, he's definitely there. Do you think if you can make the move, do you wait until closer to the end of the race to do it, or do you take it when you get the chance? I don't know.
I think you wait. You don't want to give Hamlet too much of a chance to gather his momentum back and fight through once again once you get into the lead of the race, right? I think you gotta bide your time. You gotta be patient, especially when you're in cars like these where it can be so easy to figure out somebody's line after just a lap or two of following behind. You don't want to give a guy like Hamlet that chance to catch on to your tricks.
Yeah, exactly. If he's there and he thinks he's got the pace, I think it makes sense to wait just a little bit, because you're not going to pull away from Romano. Romano's going to be all over your mirrors. He's going to be in the back of you there, or well, hopefully not in the back of you, but he's going to be all in your mirrors, all in your head. So we'll see. I mean, he's definitely there. He's close enough now to make a lunge if he really wants to. Little peek in the mirror. Romano's not going to fall for that. He's been around the game long enough. He knows how this works, but it's going to be a great race. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this plays out.
It's one of the closest fights still standing on the racetrack. And right now, Hamlet biding his time. He is playing the patience game. So we'll check in on this fight back here with Ron Wolf and Jay Kasich. A little bit closer to the fight for the lead. Case is going to make that look to the left-hand side. This is the fighter's way into the top 10. So this is the last spot in the top 10 up for grabs here. And Wolf doing a good job of holding on. Kicks the back end out. That lets Kasich close in some more.
Oh, he's going to kill the momentum down the straightaway. So Ron's going to go defensive on the left side of the track. It's going to fork Kasich around the outside. Remember, it's a left-hander to the right-hander. Can he hang it around the left-hander to get the inside lane for turn 2? No, he's not. Ron's going to push him out wide, close the door, and then run away out of turn 2. Nice clean exit for both those guys, and Ron lives to continue to be the car in front.
No problems here in the three-way fight for 10th. Alexander Bueller, that third car in line, kind of just loosely tagging onto the rear end, wanting to capitalize in the event that something goes wrong in this battle for position. On board with Kasich as he enters the tighter, twistier portions of the racetrack.
And again, the turn 7 back here, really tight. Then you go back across. You look at the cars, just the back end just complaining all the way through. A little bit faster here through turn 8 than turn 9, even tighter than what turn 7 was. Crank it hard right in the middle, get back on the power. Then you got this decent straightaway down to turn number 10, which is almost a 90-degree left-hand turn. Hanging as wide as you can here on the entrance. touch the curb, run out over the exit curb, another long straightaway deck to the 2 right-hand corners, 11 and 12 to complete the lap. But you just see there's not enough time to get a slipstream and get alongside. You kind of just fake the move and run it, hang it out wide here. Let's see what kind of exit we can get out of turn number 12. And then you got the chicane after the start-finish line. It's actually, it looks like a fun track to drive. It's just, you know, it's just hard to get a move.
Kasich trying to fight this one out. Ron Wolf looking to hop things through here as you've been riding the board for about a lap here on board of that number 11 car, and try as he may, he's been unable to find a way to get up there to the back of Wolf. It's been a similar situation, by the way, for Hamlet and Nerado, as Hamlet has actually dropped back to around 7/10 of a second here for a brief moment before trying to claw that one back. And honestly, it would not surprise if we saw this field finish just about where it runs right now in about 3 laps time.
Yeah, what's interesting to me too, Noah, I'm watching the gaps. The gap between first and second is what it is, but then the gap between second and third is going up by about a second a lap at this point. Just shows how hard the leaders are running right now. They are pulling away, and just, I mean, 18-second gap is massive between second and third. Got some lap tracking further ahead here too, so no doubt they will catch that car. Will it lead to any sort of situation where maybe Hamlet can get more speed here on Romano?
That's the big ticket question, isn't it? As now the gap continues to fluctuate back and forth. I believe that to be Sean Nolan right in front of them.
See how Sean handles this. We head into the hairpins. He's going to get out of the way. Nicely done there for Sean. Yeah, the leader's gap is it's holding pretty steady. So maybe a couple laps left. I'm not quite sure if they're going to get the white flag this time by, because they crossed the line with about 3 minutes and 5 seconds or so, give or take, last time by. So they may get 2 more laps here to settle this one down. And if you're Hamlet, I mean, now's the time to go.
Timer's got to realistically be a minute 30 or less to get the white flag this time.
Sorry, no, I was going to say, if you're Hamlet, you've got an 18-second gap to third here. You've got enough of a gap to make a lunge. If you go off the road, you go off the road. You know, so you're not going to lose second unless you end up on your roof somewhere. But yeah, I think we're definitely going to have 2 more laps here. So if I'm Hamlet, I'm sending it.
And it is going to be 2 laps to go. You saw Barn in the fly van. He did not have the doctor's jacket in hand. So Romano and Hamlet seeking to fight this one out here. You ride on board with Hamlet as he tries to close a 4/10 of a second gap. Question is, will he find a way to get to the back of Romano in the last lap and a half?
He's going to try. He's going to try as hard as he can. Let's see if we head down here to turn 7. Let's see what kind of a dive he's going to make. Look at him drifting the car in. That looks like so much fun. I'm not going to lie, sliding the cars in like that. I love seeing it. Somebody's in the wall back there behind him. I don't know if that was a leader or a lap car, but somebody was in the tire wall back there.
That would be a lap car, I do believe. I'm not seeing anybody tumbling down the order, but it's going to be 1 lap to go at the line. He's closed the gap. He's brought it back down to under 4/10 of a second. He could have a look here if he keeps this pace up.
He's there. He's as close as he has been at this stage. As we head into the white flag, 2 corners to go to get the white flag. Almost a 20-second gap between these guys in third place at this point. So I get another second extended. Let's see, what kind of run are we going to get down the front straightaway? It's Ethan Hamlet trying to run down the veteran Giovanni Romano. Romano looking for his first win of the season. Hamlet looking for his second win in as many races. White flag in the air. Nice clean exit there from Hamlet. Very clean. Gained a little bit of time as they head down toward turn number 3. Hamlet just looking like he's running slightly more conservative lines, not getting wheels off into the dirt, keeping the car on the track, while Romano is running and really hanging the car out. And he's not pulling away. It's not giving him the speed. So we head down into the hairpin complex. Let's see where this is going to go. Lap traffic ahead.
Lap traffic just up the road. Giovanni Romano trying to see if he can hold on. They are going to make their way into turn number 8, turn 9. Coming up this time through as Romano looks to be right there. Ethan Hamlet trying to see if he's got an answer. That lap car pulls to the side, but they're not going to catch by the time they get down to turn number 10. Hamlet realistically only has one more chance. He wants to get alongside, and he's got to run down the stretch here. That lap car up front could look to play spoiler. It's Blake Gambrell right in front of these guys in the number 79, and Romano's going to get held up. Ethan Hamlet closing still from the second place spot, working his way into the final corner, this time by Giovanni Romano, though, holds on, and it's his first win of 2026 in the beer league.
Great race for these guys. Finished strong. Nice clean racing between the two. Lots of respect given. No lunges made. Yeah, so we got 20 seconds for the next car comes across the track. But Giovanni Romano, first win of the season. Congrats to him. Well done, especially starting from the pit lane, I believe. But nice battle here for third as well. Gaggle of cars, third, fourth, and fifth. It's going to be Fleming, Blevins, Bright, Thacker. Good run for Brooks Clayton up there. Henry Morris did secure the top 10. Looks like he's going to come across the line in 8th. Alex King, 9th. Ron Wolf rounds out the top 10.
And I see Ron Wolf and Jay Casey fighting it out, and then this right here, realistically, one of the final battles left on the racetrack between Greg Beckman, Evan Campbell, and Carson Catlin. And Campbell's got to look to the inside here, entering turn number 10. This is the fight for 19th on track, and they're still looking to go at it. Off the road goes 2 of them, and that could let Campbell get a run.
Yeah, this isn't over. I think we're going to see all 3 of these cars. Everybody's going to dive into turn number 11 here. And kept it clean. I was wondering if Catlin there was going to get it done, but great race from these guys as well.
Greg Beckman will look to close out the final fight on the racetrack in 19th. And well, with all of that said and done, that is going to bring us to a close on your racing action here this afternoon. A stellar outing that we had throughout this one. Let's take a rundown of your official post-race results this afternoon from the Winton Motor Raceway and its beer league debut. It's Romano taking home win number 33 of his beer league career. Ethan Hamlet comes home second place. Fleming in third. Blevins in fourth. Bright fifth. Thacker sixth. Brooks Clayton in seventh. Then it's Morse, Wolf, and Kasich rounding up the top 10.
Yeah, bringing home P11, you're going to have Alexander Bueller, Darren Bides there in 12th place. Justin Hall brought home 13th. Tyler Augustino 14th. Austin Tucker 15th. Chris Flam 16th. Adam Joseph Melhott in 17th. Greg Beckman, good run there in 18th. Carson Catlin 19th. Evan Campbell down there in 20th place.
From there, it's Condi rounding out the top 21 and the cars on the lead lap. From there, it's Ryan Verhulst, Sean Nellen, Alex King, Ben Williams, Blake Gamble, Purcell, Gouge, Dupuy, and Francisco Bertucci finish out the top 30.
31st, Eric Ronenberg. 32nd, Ryan Murphy. 33rd, Jordan Babcock. 34th, Alex Cofford. Kyle Smith, 35th. Carl Behrens, 36th. Barry Piper, 37th. And Ringo Harrison rounds out 38 car field.
What a ride that we had here this afternoon. Let's get a quick chit chat in here with the drivers that finished this race. Numbers 1, 2, and 3 here this afternoon. And we'll let you kick things off first and foremost with the man of the hour. It's the Canadian Giovanni Romano, who was able to come out of here as a stellar drive this afternoon. He comes home number 1. It is win number 33 of his beer league career. Gio, you had quite the fight there with last week's winner Ethan Hamlet at the tail end of this one. Talk us through those closing laps, because I imagine you were constantly looking in those mirrors.
Yeah, Ethan definitely put the pressure on, man. He was all... I was hoping I could open a gap on him, but he made sure that wasn't going to happen. And it seemed like there was a little bit of ebb and flow with our, I feel like with the tires. I feel like our pace was really close, and the tires kind of made a difference because I pit a few laps before him. So when he came out of the pits, I blew by him because he was on cold tires, opened up a couple seconds, and then as my tires started to heat up, it seemed he kind of pulled back close to me, and then after a while it evened out, and it seemed like we were kind of just trading the same laps. So it was really close. I think the one thing going for me is that it's really hard to pass here. So I was just kind of focusing on, like, as long as I don't screw up, it's going to be really hard for him to do something. So yeah, it was a good race, though.
First time out for the beer league here at the Winton Motor Raceway. What was your perspective here on Australia's action track?
I like it more than most people. I don't. A lot of people really hate it. I'm pretty in the middle on it. I think it's not. I think it's decent in a little car like this. It's that middle section is fairly go-kart like, but the Miata is also fairly go-kart like, so it kind of works. I also really like the extracurricular activities this track has, such as the skid pad and that wedge in the wall that we found during qualifying that everyone really enjoyed. So I think even if people didn't enjoy the actual track itself, I think some of the off-track activities people enjoyed.
I was going to ask about that. The gap in the wall. From what I heard, the plan with all of that, apparently there was a plan, which I don't know if that's more scary if there wasn't one with these guys, but the plan was to push you through the gap in the wall. If that was the plan, what were you going to do if you got to the other side of it?
Yeah, I don't know how it formed. I basically decided, hey, I don't qualify, so sometimes I go exploring. I'm like, hey, this gap in the wall is like slightly smaller than the car. Like, it would be funny if I wedged my car into it. So I like started found a way to kind of wedge myself into it, and then like Cofford pulled up and started bumping me into it, and then it escalated. Yeah, the goal was to get me to. I was hoping I would get to the end because I don't know what would happen there. I'd probably either hit an invisible wall or fall out. So probably nothing crazy, but it was pretty funny. It was a good time.
Well, Gio, congratulations on your 33rd win and extending the record for most wins in Beer League history. We'll see if this is the first of many in 2026 when we go racing next week.
Thanks, guys.
Romano comes home number 1 this afternoon. And, Chris, you've been able to catch up with the driver that goes for a double podium. It's Ethan Hamblett, number 2.
Ethan, great run today. You almost had Gio's number. I mean, I don't know how much closer you can get by the end of the race there, but maybe just didn't have quite enough to get past him.
Yeah, this track is very tough to pass at unless you have like a ginormous pace advantage.
Walk us through what happened there on the pit for the pit stop. I think you were coming in there with I think it was maybe Fleming. I don't recall off the top of my head, but a little bit of overtaking going into the pit line, right?
Yeah, I saw Scott. He got a little loose kind of on entry. I saw a gap and I just sent it.
That's what you got to do, man. I think that position, I mean, between that and, some of the other leaders getting held up when they did their pit stop earlier, a couple laps before you guys did, I mean, it got you up there to the lead. Gio, I think with the undercut, had a pretty good run. I mean, do you think you had his number after a few more laps if you were able to kind of stay with him?
Possibly if I could have gotten like right on him on like onto one of the straights of a good run, but other than that, it's like it would have been pretty difficult to pass anyway.
Yeah, well, good run tonight. Second after the win last week in Lime Rock. Great finish, and we'll see you again next week. Yeah.
Thank you. See you then.
All right, let's pass it back over to Nolan, who's hanging out with our third place finisher, Scott Fleming.
Yeah, Fleming comes home number 3 this afternoon. Scott, double third places for you here this afternoon, and it was looking for a moment like you were probably going to be in the competition to win it for first win, quite literally to the year, 1-year anniversary since your last one out here, but not meant to be this afternoon. What happened there coming down to pit road?
Oh man, thanks for the reminder on that. But no, that was good. It was an amazing race. I didn't really expect to be at the pointy end for so long, and then yeah, going into the pits, kind of came out a little bit behind, and I mean that was kind of a little bit of save after that. But then I had a green light that I gave myself, and yeah, Ethan and Gio were just gone. It was crazy how far up the road they made it. And yeah, at that point it was just a matter of trying to hang on and see what I could do, and yeah, here we are.
Well, despite, I'm sure, what you thinking about what could have been, it's not a bad result at the end of the day, right? You're on double third place finishes in the features to start off your season, and that's coming off of a pretty good run in the sprint race as well, a double top 10 for you this afternoon. Yeah. So a lot of good points on the board. Championship run, what are you thinking about it?
You know, we're just going to keep our head in it and see what we can do. I got no expectations coming in every week. And like even this week, I wasn't really looking for anything spectacular. And, you know, it kind of came together. So that's our game plan this season. And we'll see what happens.
Well, the Mazda Miata certainly seems to be a car that agrees with you, and we'll see if it continues to agree with you wherever we might happen to be racing at 1 week from today. Congratulations on taking home your third place finish this afternoon, and we'll see you next time out.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. We'll see you around.
Scott Fleming comes home number 3 this afternoon. And, well, Chris, that's going to do it then for us here this afternoon. An overall stellar race this afternoon, and plenty more action yet to be had when we go racing next time out.
Yeah, great race. It's another strong finish there from Ethan, and we're gonna see where we go. We never know, but I think it's gonna be an exciting season. You're starting to see some of the regulars get some new battles with some new faces here. It's gonna be exciting.
Well, when we go racing this next time out, we are, of course, going to be at it at the Pocono Raceway, the Zero Race Relay, closing out their run this coming Friday for the round of 16 before they enter the next round of playoff season. Lots of racing action yet to be had. And, of course, the big highlight going to be the Collegiate iRacing League's Cup Series as CIL makes its official debut on Greenflight TV on Monday night. All of this and more. And make sure to follow us up along on Twitter and, of course, on Facebook so you can get updates on when we are going live. Subscribe, hit the bell, and be back for more when we go racing next time out. My name is Rempel alongside Chris Hannigan. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. And we'll see you all next week when we go racing for more in the Beer League.